Made by Mortals bring lived experience to life through films, audio stories, theatre, music and interactive workshops. This short video explains our approach to creating the music for Sadiqa, an immersive audio story about a character who has lived with domestic and honour-based abuse. Hi, I'm Andy. I'm going to give you a little insight into how we made the music for Sadiqa using participatory arts practice, particularly how we created the music with people who don't identify as musicians themselves. Sadiqa was made by a group of women who shared their lived experience of domestic and honour-based abuse. And when it came to making the music, one of the first decisions they made was that the main character, Sadiqa, should be represented through the violin. The music also has an Arabic and South Asian quality to it to reflect the cultural heritage of the women who helped make it. For example, that was done by using instruments such as the tabla or the sitar, or by using certain scales or modes that reflect that musical heritage. The first time you hear the violin in the piece, it plays this short melody. And to create that tune, we looked at the script and we chose the line, "Can I share my story?" It's a line that Sadiqa says when she's at the chai and chat group. So to create the tune, I asked the lived experience group to imagine that they're Sadiqa saying that line in a chai and chat session. One of the women stood up and spoke the line out loud. Then the violinist immediately copied. Only this time, she didn't copy by speaking, she copied by playing the line through the violin, matching the natural rhythm and intonation of the woman who stood up to speak the line. So let's listen to the start of the music again and see if you can hear that melody and imagine Sadiqa saying, "Can I share my story?" through the violin. In another section in the piece, we created what's called an ostinato. And an ostinato is a musical term that means a repeated rhythm. And that rhythm can change pitches, but the rhythm must stay the same. So to create our ostinato, we asked the women to use their first names to compose their own rhythms. So I would clap a steady pulse or a beat like this, and they would take it in turns to say or clap their first names on top of that in a rhythm. And this is what we ended up with. Asma, Saida, Sana. Asma, Saida, Sana. And then we started putting that onto the instruments like this. Now in the final piece, it's not actually played on the piano parts, it's played by the pizzicato plucking of the string instruments and stamps the women's autographs on the music. Another technique we used in this piece, taken from the musical heritage of the women involved, was the use of what's called ornamentation. And that's a musical term that means kind of embellishing a tune or embellishing a melody. And what I mean by embellishing is that adding like little trills and turns to the note. It's like decorating the melody. So for example, if the tune goes like this without any ornamentation, first of all, say it sounds like this. With some ornamentation, it could sound more like this. The women described how, as Sadiqa attends more and more chai and chat sessions and shares more of her story, she grows in confidence, and we wanted to represent this idea, this growth of confidence in the music too. So I mentioned at the start about that "Can I Share My Story" tune, And at the beginning of the piece of music, it's played in quite a soft and timid way. So to show the growth in confidence, we repeat that tune several times. But as the piece evolves, it's played at a louder volume, with more energy, with more embellishment and ornamentation around it. So let's take a listen. The idea of creating musical motifs by mirroring the natural rhythm and intonation of the women's voices as they spoke was a really strong feature of how we created the music for this piece. We used it several times, so as well as the "Can I share my story" motif, we also asked the women to speak in their own community languages and turn them into musical motifs too. For example, there's a phrase in Punjabi, "Deri mercy," which means it's up to you. And as the women spoke that, it turned into this motif. You can imagine, "Deri mercy." Or another example was, "Ha abke mercy," which means it's your choice, or yes, it's your choice. And that sounded like this. So take a listen to this extract of music now, where the violinist is playing all of those three tunes alongside the Arabic influenced ornamentation. So that's a little window into how Made by Mortals created some of the music for Sadiqa. If you haven't already, go and have a listen to the full audio story. The link is in the description below, and please do give us a like and subscribe. Thank you.